Ready to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai, then download the Millionaire X app, your AI-powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business. It's different.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, How Anti-Black Racism Was Programmed, Marketed, and Made to Survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails that they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
In H-Town, we want news that speaks truth, just like we do.
ADNC keeps me informed and him inspired.
We've been through too much to trust mainstream media. This feels like us.
From the D to the diaspora, ADNC is how I stay woke. We binge ADNC like it's Netflix, but smarter.
They speak on us, but never for us. ADNC does.
No fluff, no filters, just the truth, daily.
From Wall Street to 125th, we're watching our news.
Download the African Diaspora News Channel app today to stay connected to the culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the stream this evening. We greatly appreciate you to come on in. It is Monday, the 24th. And this is it is trucking along real quick, ladies and gentlemen. It's the last week of the month. You know, next Sunday will be the 30th. And I know this is a holiday week. Some of y'all probably gonna be traveling, going to see family, go and eat with them and all of that. So definitely have safe travels. Please have safe travels. You know, leave early, take your time, don't rush to do anything. You know, I tell everybody that. Somebody driving crazy on the road, let them go by you. Don't get no road rage incident with nobody. It's better to go home safe and get to where you need to be safe and sound and dealing with somebody that may have nothing to lose and have no problem trying to crash out on you and take your life, okay? I know some of you probably getting in the airport since you know, government's back open, right? So yeah, just be careful, you know, all of that. Schedule, at least for me, at least this week, is going to be definitely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, live stream, like normal. The rest of the week, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll have pre-records. So, and then I'll be back to my regular streaming on Monday. So that just be my, you know, but you know me, I'm always doing something. I always got something going on, right? So you'll see me on these days, so it's not like I'm disappearing. So that will be that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so tonight we got a couple of things to talk about. So you have this Haitian-American Congresswoman, Sheila Cherfilus. Hold on, make sure I say her name right. Cherfilus-McCormick. She was indicted by the federal government for using COVID-era FEMA funds. And I want you to hear how all that happened. $5 million. Man. And then I want to talk about this other story right after that, kind of same lines, by this Jamaican woman that was here in the United States. And she got about $34 million in PPP, and the Fed's looking for her. So, yeah, maybe they caught up to her, but I just couldn't believe it when I started to say, what's going on with the scamming? Lord. So we're gonna talk about that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Just checking in with y'all, and definitely, you know, shout out to the regulars that come on in that I see in there, like definitely Lisa Parker is one of the regulars I see all the time in here. Shout out to her, and I'm just kind of looking at the chat real quick, and many others. You say she gone? I don't know who's gone, but okay. Well, before we get started, y'all see your boy Shador the other day? Your boy Shador was balling. I say, man, you know, but you know what? I like how Shador the whole time. He know they can't stand him. The coach can't even stand him. He like, you know what? I ain't worried about it. I'm gonna play. He kept his head up with it. And when he got a chance to go out there, he was balling. You know what I'm saying? Boy, they can't stand when he do his you know, his signature watch, you know, thing that he does, right? Oh, the fans love it. But that coach of theirs, oh boy, I don't know if y'all saw the video where the coach was talking about the game, and we all watched the same game, right? At least definitely the highlights. And the coach is like, you know, it comes to Shador, yeah, Shador. I'm like, bruh, like you hate your own player? Like, really? Like, man, Shador back there just smiling. I'm like, man, that dude is he's a class act. I give him that. Because some people like, man, F this coach. Like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Shador and Dion, because Dion was at the game and all of that. So, yeah, you say he's starting next week. He should be starting. I want that young man to ball out. I really do. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started, because I won't take much of your time. I know y'all some busy people. And I got some other things I got to do, too, as well. All right, so let's look at the first news report about Miss McCormick here, and a Representative McCormick here, and let's check this out. Then we're gonna get her statement, but we just want to find out some things here. So let me go. Hold on, I think this is the first one we want to check
under
out.
Attack. Tonight, a federal grand jury indicting Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick and several associates, accusing them of stealing millions in federal disaster funds, laundering the money, and using part of it to support her 2021 congressional campaign.
The money we invested was to make sure that we can touch the people in the community, but the money didn't determine this election because most people who put a lot of money in the community, in the campaigns, they don't win.
Federal prosecutors say Cherfilus-McCormick and her brother Edwin Cherfilus ran a FEMA-funded COVID-19 vaccination staffing contract through their family health care company. Prosecutors say in July 2021, the company received a $5 million overpayment. Prosecutors say the group diverted that money and tried to hide it through multiple accounts. The indictment says a large portion of those funds was used for campaign contributions and personal expenses. Prosecutors allege the South Florida Democrat and Nadege LeBlanc arranged additional donations using straw donors, funneling money to friends and relatives who then donated to the campaign as if using their own money. Investigators say the Congresswoman, with the help of her tax preparer, David K. Spencer, filed a false federal tax return, allegedly disguising political spending and personal costs as business deductions. U.S. Attorney Jason Redding Quinones writing public money belongs to the American people. When FEMA funds are diverted for personal or political gain, it erodes trust and harms us all.
All right. And the funny part is, hold on.
Tonight, a federal grand jury.
Hold on. Stop. Boy, she got the same hair color and everything as your girl Tiffany, super male Henyard. I just thought about that when I saw that. You know, Tiffany, how she was, right? The same hair color and everything. Yeah, I don't know if they cousins or whatever, but Tiffany is Black American. But I'm just teasing about that. But yeah, it's the same hair color, y'all. But anyway, look, sister, you didn't think you was gonna get caught? Listen, if the federal government put $5 million in my account tomorrow, I'm not gonna like, ooh, boy, hell no. I'm like, where did that come from? And I'm calling them today. I'll call a bank. I'm like, hey, why that guy put in my account? I'm like, no. Let me get them on the phone right now. Take that out my account. No. Take that out my account. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Anyway, I'm like, take that out my account. No. Like, how do y'all do that? All y'all was doing that PPP and getting millions. Like, you didn't think you was gonna get caught? Seriously? So you take the money, you get your brother involved with it, right? You get your brother involved. You're gonna say, look, I'm gonna take this money, put it in my political campaign. Look, I'm gonna try to get, some straw donors over here. You got your tax guy involved with it. Everybody involved with the money. Everybody involved. And it's just I've been noticing all these scams that's been coming out, and I'm not saying some Black Americans haven't done scams. I'm not saying that. But what I've been noticing is that when the people from the diaspora scam, a lot of them scam for real. Have you been hearing about all the scams coming from them Somalis in Minnesota? Boy, they've been doing some scams up there. Like, what, y'all here in America, why do you got to scam? You don't have to scam, bruh. Look, I know in your homeland you'll get away with it for the most part, but here they're gonna catch you. They're gonna catch you. Now I want y'all to hear what she has to say in response to the indictment. Let's go ahead and play this.
Any thoughts on the indictment, please? Well, it's an unjust indictment, and it seems like these intimidation tactics have been pervasive. We spent all week seeing different members getting censured, all in hopes of intimidating and kind of distracting from the Epstein files. And I look forward to my day in court so I can prove myself and actually state the truth. But if this is what Congress is becoming, where they're always trying to intimidate you, scare tactics, especially attacking minorities, Black and brown people, then we're going to have to keep fighting for the district. And everybody has been giving me so much support, and we're going to keep fighting until the district gets what it needs, which is fair prices, housing, and fair representation in Congress.
Did so thank you so much. What's your response to the calls from some of your colleagues to step down or resign?
They didn't elect me. It was my district, and so we'll keep fighting for the people and keep working like we're doing now until they get what they need. So we're here for the people. So the only people who elected me should make that decision. Thank you so much.
All right, so that's her response. Now, one thing she did not say is No, I did not, misuse any kind of funds. I didn't spend that kind of money. I got that money legally and lawfully, and I got a paper trail of everything I've been doing, and I'm going to show that in court. She didn't say any of that, because listen, when you're innocent, you could easily say that. Say, yeah, I'm innocent. They lying on me, right? She did not say that. Now, here's the thing. You're a congresswoman. Listen, let's call it what it is. In America, if you become a congresswoman or a congressman and you in that job, you can get enough corruption money. Trust me, all of them go up there rich. They can come up there regular, and all of them rich. All of them become rich in a few years. All of them. Y'all didn't have to even worry about that. You was gonna have the $5 million. You gonna probably have 10, 20 staying in Congress long enough. All y'all know all about the insider trading. Y'all know that. Y'all say, oh, okay, well, this stock going to be up tomorrow. That stock, okay, well, let me go ahead and put down $100,000 on this. I'm about to make a lot of money. Look, everybody talk about Nancy Pelosi because she's one of the queens of insider trading, but she don't go to jail. I know she's not the only one, but come on. All she had to do was go holler at Nancy Pelosi and say, hey, look, I want to get a bag like you. Well, shoot, teach me the game. Show me what to look for. That's it. You didn't have to steal. You don't have to do all that. But look, one thing my grandfather always said to me was, you never want to have to look over your shoulder when you're spending your money. And what he meant by that is basically if you're getting it by ill-gotten means, right? You stole it from somebody, you did whatever. You don't want to look over your shoulder. You want to be in peace when you're spending your money. I mean, of course, we know criminals can try to get your money or whatever, but you know what I'm getting at. So your parents come here because she doesn't have an accent. So your parents immigrated here to probably first generation, right? Do you think your parents immigrated over here for you to be doing what you and your brother was doing and your tax preparer were doing? Do you think they came over here for that? And they saying this woman could possibly, if she's convicted, she's accused, she's not convicted, but if she's convicted, she could face, let's say, up to 53 years in prison. Man, I've been seeing people get football numbers behind this stealing money with the pandemic. Like, people, I didn't understand why they were doing it like that. Like, if a person made an application, they just gave it to them. Like, they didn't even do, from what I found out, talking to different people, they didn't even ask for your 2-year tax return a lot of times. You filled it out, you say you had a business, whatever, they went ahead and just gave you the money. I'm like, they've never done that. And sometimes I'm thinking that, were they trying to set everybody up to be mass incarcerated? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you're going to get something from the government, you better be on point. Even if you have, now they say she had a government contract for, vaccinations and with their company. But when she know good and well that contract was for a certain amount of money, she can't come up here talking about they're attacking black and brown. No, they're not attacking black and brown. They're attacking you. They're coming at you. When that money came in your account, ma'am, you knew it was an overpayment. You knew to pick up that phone and say, hey, get your money out of my account. Hey, you need me to, call the money back or give me the wire information. I'll wire that money right back today. But get that money out of here. I'm going to talk to my bank and I'm telling them what happened. And so they can go ahead and send that money back. Well, we got to do, get that money out of my account. No. So I don't want to hear that. Nobody can tell me that you get $5 million in your account and you don't question it. No, you thought you was getting over. And that dignified statement stuff you're trying to do, that don't make no sense, sister. It don't. I don't get why y'all think y'all not going to get caught stealing. They great at catching people stealing. They love doing it. From the low-level stealing in Walmart or Target, which I don't understand that either. Walmart is one of the worst places to steal. Be honest with you. Target too. These people are billion-dollar corporations. Walmart is one of the biggest corporations. They are the biggest employer in America. They invest billions of dollars into loss prevention, into cameras, into watching you. How do you think you gonna get away with stealing even in Walmart? I don't get it. You get a record behind stealing stupid things that you can go work for? And that $5 million with old girl in Congress, she'll have that $5 million. Very easy in Congress. All she had to do was hang out for a couple of years, win a couple of elections. Then more and more she get deep into it. You know what I'm saying? She probably take some of that good APAC money and all of that. And she'd be paid. She ain't have to do all that. I hate. One thing I hate. What did you say, BB? You said these commercials got to stop during the live stream. Well, BB, let me tell you something. I saw that happening. So what I chose to do was get a family plan with YouTube Premium, so I don't see any ads. I don't see a single ad on YouTube. I pay for it because I don't want to see ads. Okay, that's what I do. I just pay for it. Now, if I didn't want to pay for it, that's what I would see. Once again, it's their site. They can do whatever they want. That's why we have the African Diaspora News Channel app. Just like we can do whatever we want on our app. And all of you who are members here on YouTube, did you go see the video that we posted over the weekend? The update and showing you kind of like the UI of the new app and just showing you a little bit what it's going to look like. Did y'all go check that out? If you have not checked that out yet, it's out in our video tab, or it's actually on our community page, actually for members only. Go there and check it out and see what it's going to look like. Like I said, I'm great. I'm really happy about some of the progress. Can't wait for it to come out. It'll take a couple of months. I just want to do it right, okay? Now, you say you pay $14 a month? Yeah. Lisa says she pays. So there you go. Yeah. Like I give it to my wife, my daughters, like all the family that I got the family plan, and I don't see anything like that. So, that's the only thing that I can say. Just a little relief. If you don't want to do it, well, you're gonna have to see ads. There you go. All right. There you go. There you go, Rhonda. I appreciate it. Now let's continue. I want to show y'all another story real quick. Same thing. The scheming and the scamming. Let's check this out. This stuff is crazy. Look at this.
40-year-old Elaine Esco, seen here smiling with family and friends, is wanted by the FBI. The fugitive, who also went by the alias Annie Palmer, is accused of pocketing COVID relief money totaling $34 million. Federal agents say she and others were part of an elaborate scheme involving wire fraud and money laundering. The indictment claims Esco submitted more than 90 applications for PPP and other COVID relief programs by using false information about employee numbers, payrolls, and revenue over an 18-month span in 2020. And it says Esco was considered the ringleader.
This case involving multiple co-conspirators and 90 or so applications with 34 million, that is a much larger number and a much more complicated and complex kind of allegation than most PPP cases.
Defense lawyer David Taras has handled many cases like this. He says the COVID-19 money was meant to help those hit hard by the pandemic, not to be misused for personal gain.
A lot of people were really hurt. People were dying during COVID, and those people maybe could have used that money to keep their businesses alive. That money wasn't available.
All right. So this woman, 40 years old, okay? Let me play this one more time. We want to pause at a certain point.
40-year-old Elaine Esco, seen here smiling with family and friends, is wanted by the FBI. The fugitive, who also went by the alias Annie.
Okay, so you can see on the screen, birthplace Jamaica. Okay, so she's Jamaican, okay? She's Jamaican. I just want to make sure, because...
Palmer is accused of pocketing COVID relief money totaling $34 million. Federal agents say she and others were part of an elaborate scheme involving wire fraud and money laundering. The indictment claims Esco submitted more than 90 applications for PPP.
Okay, you put in 90 applications for PPP, okay? Now let me flip this on Congress for a minute. There should be some investigations. Y'all getting at the people, which you should, but there should be some investigations like who was approving 90 applications for PPP. They should be going to jail too. Not just the people that got it, but they should be going to jail. How you approve 90? In order for you to get the Paycheck Protection Program, you had to prove, supposed to prove, you had a business and you had employees that you were paying. It was called Paycheck Protection Program. So during the pandemic, people could still get their check. Okay, actually a good program. Supposed to be a forgivable loan money, right? Okay, fine. I think it was honorable, right? But scammers, decide to, I can keep filing. And what other people were doing, which they're going to jail for, well, look, I'll put in the application for you or whatever. Let me use your information and just give me a cut when you get, you know what I'm saying? People doing that. They getting jammed up with that too. And you remember your boy Biden, he had extended the statute of limitations to 10 years for that. Because normally it was like be 5 years, but it went up to 10 because your boy Biden signed that into law. Okay. So you did any foolishness during the time period of the pandemic, they said that the fraud was so massive. Yeah, they gonna get a lot of people, but they're not gonna be able to get everybody. That's how massive the fraud was. They say they have people in other countries getting PPP money. That's how big the fraud was. But this woman her people put in 90 applications. 90. What is going on? I don't understand why there were applications like normally you try to go get a car as a black person, right? And a lot of times they won't approve you for certain cars, but like, this on your credit, that on your credit. But you sit up there and giving this woman $34 million. Not even black folks can't even get a car, but she getting $34 million. After the first million, you didn't say like, okay, well, I need to see more. Like who? 34 million would be for a company like Walmart. Amazon want 34 million. That would make sense. You of all people, you can look at this woman and tell she ain't got no company. She ain't got nothing going on. So I'm like, why aren't these people in the banks that approve this mess too? Because a lot of times what was going on, the banks were giving out the PPP. Why ain't the bankers going to jail? Because that's ridiculous. See, let me tell you something about white folk. They always protect their own. See, they notice they don't jail the bankers. They don't jail all them people. Oh, no. They'd rather go get the people that receive the money. Because, see, when you make an application with PPP or all that mess, they were supposed to at least do some sort of checks on it, right? And they approved, because see, that woman that got that 34 million, they approved all her applications. So when she filled that mess out, they didn't double check anything. They didn't cross-reference anything. They just say, oh, yeah, it's good, and just send this woman the money. How is it that y'all after her, which you should be, but you're not after the people that approved it? Wasn't the banks supposed to be entrusted to make sure that this was legit? Y'all talking about her wig? You say, yeah, I guess. 34 million and couldn't get a good lace front, huh? I guess. And I don't know where the money went. But how is it that? But if you go back to the 2008 housing crash, the banks was approving people to get home loans they couldn't afford, and they knew they couldn't afford it. And instead of Congress and Obama and them at the time saying, "Hey, we gonna go after these banks and see who approved all this mess, and all y'all going to jail." Nope, the banks got bailed out, and then Obama put in stricter rules for people to get FHA loans. That's what happened. They put in the stricter rules on the people. I had got my first house before that crash, way before that crash. Let me tell you how cold that was at that time period. That time period before that housing crash was so cold, I had put down $500 earnest money on a home. They paid the closing costs, the builder. They paid the closing costs. I got my $500 back after the house closed. So basically, I got in the house for nothing. And there's so many people getting houses like that, but I can afford my house. I don't know about the other people. And I had an FHA loan at the time. I didn't have no adjustable rate mortgage. And that's what's getting people in trouble. Like it'd be one rate, and then next year or 2 years later, it'll just balloon up in the rate. And when the interest rate balloon up on you, it jacks your payment up. And that's how people are losing all their homes with adjustable rate mortgages. But none of the bankers went to jail. They never go to jail. But you'll lose your house, or you'll go to jail if you got the PPP like that. But what was the safeguards to stop these people from getting all this PPP? Yeah. Like, yeah, he's the one that came out and said the banks are too big to fail. Do you remember that? He said it. What do you mean the banks are too big to fail? They caused a problem. Congress bailed them out. Then we talking about we got a housing crisis. We can't get homes and all this other stuff. At minimum, they should be approved. Hey, say, hey, we got bailed out by the government. We need to be giving some homes, facilitating homes for the American people. He didn't even put no stipulation. They didn't put no stipulation in it. That's what your boy Obama did. Obama was all for the system. You got some, you can hear Trump saying something like that. But Obama was supposed to be your first black president. And then, see, Barack Obama is the one that woke us up anyway. He's the one that woke us up. He woke us up because we thought at the time, trust me, I know the mindset. And people talking about, oh, y'all voted for Barack Obama. At that time period, there was no delineation movement. To be honest with you, Barack Obama helped spark the delineation movement. Barack Obama is a central figure. People talk about immigrants. No. Barack Obama. He was the person that everybody started thinking and looking twice at. Because where it used to be in this country was say, hey, we want to get some black representation. Because what if y'all remember the time before Barack Obama was elected, said, man, we want to get this brother in office, and he got look at his wife, his kids. Man, he know how it is being a black man in America. Man, let's get this brother in office and shoot, man. He'll represent, man. He'll regulate on these police. Man, people wasn't talking about reparations back then, but it was more so like, hey, man, he can get these races and all that. Man, it'd be great to have a black man. Because most people at the time think you'll never see a black man be president of this country. Most black people would say that at the time. So when Barack Obama came out, and then, he was the eloquent speaker and all of that, and then he seen his wife and seen his kids say, oh, man, a black family in the White House. And then when they got elected, a lot of black people cried to see it. Because we never thought that we would see a black person be the president of the United States. Because just how racist this place is. And then he got in there. Okay, cool. We got in there. It was great to see and all of that. And the inauguration, how big that was. It was historic. But then as he started trucking along, Obama got down with the system. Black people say, hey, man, you going to do something to black people? Well, I'm the president of everybody, not just black America. Like chastising black people, wagging his finger at black people. He didn't do nothing for black folk. And because he didn't do for black folk, then he had the nerve at the end of his term, protect my legacy. He wanted to protect his legacy by getting Hillary Clinton in there. And that's why so-called legacy wasn't protected, because he didn't do right by black folk. If he would have did right by black people, and if Hillary was like, yeah, and I'm gonna continue his policy and do this, maybe Hillary would have became president. Maybe she would have had enough votes to beat Trump in the Electoral College. I don't know. But people was kind of done with Obama. And you think about it, Obama isn't respected like he once was. Why? Because he didn't do, he's nothing but a stooge for the Democrats. He had a nerve to tell black men, oh, y'all got to vote for a black woman, talking down to us. But he never go tell white men they got to go vote for a white woman. You said Miss Violet Fletcher passed today? Oh, she was the sister of one of the last known survivors of the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing. And see, that kind of stuff right there, right? Now, you see, Miss Fletcher went through terrorism, okay? And you know how these white supremacists, and when I say white supremacists, I don't mean an extremist, like a Klansman or whatever. That's an extremist. A white supremacist, all they are is a person that believes that white folks need to dominate, control everything in America over every other group of people. That's it. That's what a white supremacist is. And that's built off of anti-black racism. Most of your white supremacists aren't extremists. They go to work every day. They don't go to no Klan meeting. They don't burn crosses. They don't have swastikas. They don't have any of that, okay? I tell people that. Your greatest white supremacist is going to be at your job. It's not going to be the one in the Klan hood. These people don't believe in equality. They don't believe in... They told. How many times have they told us, well, black people today, how you gonna get reparations for things that happened and you didn't go through anything? Okay, well, Miss Fletcher, she went through Black Wall Street. If anybody deserved reparations, according to them, it would be her. And it wasn't just her; it was the other brother that was with her that passed away, and the other sister that was with us that passed away as well. They went their whole life trying to fight for reparations that was just for them. And they did not get it. And you know what? See, you know, I wouldn't go here tonight. This is why you are cursed with a curse. This is why you curse with a curse. Because you would deny justice these things that you knew that happened. You would sit up here and do a PPP and let somebody get 90 applications to get $34 million. You will send $5 million to this congresswoman. She wasn't a congresswoman at the time, but you'll send $5 million. But you won't send a dime to some people who actually went through some real terrorism in this country by their government, because they dropped bombs on them from the airplane, so it's by their government, and they can't get paid reparations. I told y'all a long time ago, never listen to anything they're saying about trying to justify this or whatever, because if they're speaking to you, they're lying. White supremacy is not about logic. It has no logic to it. If you try to get into in your mind, like, okay, all right, I understand what they're talking about, so maybe this, like, they got you already. They got you. It's not built on any kind of logic, any kind of things that common sense. It's not built on any of it. They don't want to pay reparations not because they don't have it, because clearly they had $4 trillion during the pandemic to just throw out there. They're throwing out money. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that they don't have it. I told y'all a long time ago, the reason why they don't want to pay out reparations is because they literally hate us to the molecule. That's why. It's nothing more, nothing less. When that Doge stuff was going on, you saw all them billions and millions of dollars in all these foreign countries or whatever. Listen, did y'all check out that CNN documentary out of South Africa? Did y'all check that out? Talking about I think it was called Misinformation Nation. Talking about white genocide stuff in South Africa. Well, they had this one part. Well, they had this particular organization that was getting USAID. And this organization was about trans people in South Africa. And our government was giving aid money to a trans organization for their hormones and surgeries and all kinds of things in South Africa. When I heard that, I said, wait, hold on. Maybe I'm hearing wrong. I rewinded it. I say, what the hell? Our government is paying for trans stuff in South Africa? But at the same time, I had to think about it. It would be our government to do that because they want to keep the men not being men, and we know non-reproductive sex is a win for white supremacy. So yeah, they would fund trans, they would fund all those things. They would fund drag shows in other countries. They were funding things like that. You know, the Doge had, we'll say they dissolved Doge, but they were coming out saying all our tax dollars that was going out in the billions paying for trans this and all of that. But when black folks had some injustice happen to them that everyone know is documented, it's not a lie, it's not a fable, they can't get it. Yeah. Look, Eric, go watch that thing with CNN called Misinformation Nation. I forgot exactly where it's at, but go watch it. I couldn't believe it. And the trans woman was talking about it. How we missing that money, and how it would help us do this and that and the third. And I'm sitting here like, what? So my tax dollars and your tax dollars was paying for trans things in South Africa. On top of that, our government was also paying for their HIV medications and stuff like that in South Africa as well, which I knew about that because that was like the first thing that came out saying that, well, what about the people that got HIV in South Africa? What are they going to do about this and that and the third? And I'm like, what the ANC going to do about all that? Where's the campaign, the Wrap It Up campaign? And teaching people and raising awareness about HIV. It's the ANC, the DA, and everybody else's responsibility. EFF, all of them who's in political parties should be having a campaign about HIV. It's not on, but it's not on us. But they can pay money to people in South Africa for HIV, but they can't pay reparations in America. They can allow $34 million to get stolen for PPP, but they won't give you $34 million for reparations. You say that we give students in other countries $30K for college and don't hear? Of course we don't. We do. We treat Americans bad. Americans are treated bad. But at the same time, Americans, let me tell you about that. You're treated bad because you allow it. You allow it. You go vote in the same politicians, or you don't vote at all. Some people that got good character don't run for office. You know what I'm saying? And some of you probably be great to run for office, but you just don't. And I get it, because sometimes you don't want to fool with the mess. But you have the two-party cartel. Most people agree in America the two-party cartel don't work. Republicans don't work. Democrats don't work. You don't get together and say, well, we already got established third parties. Why don't we all just do a protest vote and vote in third parties so we can break the two-party cartel? The Democrats and Republicans can't force y'all to vote Democrat or Republican. They can't do that. Now, what they do that's dirty, Democrats and Republicans, every time you have a third-party candidate, they're trying to file lawsuits and stuff like that to get them off the ballot and doing a lot of sucker stuff like that. But if the American people was truly behind third-party candidates, then, you can have the people say, oh, hell no, we're not voting for y'all. We're voting for this person. Sometimes a person could be a write-in or whatever. People can do that too if they wanted to, but you're not motivated to. You'll complain about America and how the Democrats do you wrong, Republicans do you wrong, but you don't do nothing about it. So that's sometimes like when I hear Americans in general complain about America, I'm like, what are you complaining for? You like it. You like it. Because if you didn't like it, you would do something different. The Democrats are messed up. The Republicans are messed up. We all know the corporations own both of them. We all know this. They are sold out. Everybody know that AIPAC, does both political parties. All of major corporations, Walmart, Amazon, the tech companies, everybody pay money to the politicians. They do the bidding of the tech companies and super PACs, and not the biddings of the people. The ones who run the government it's the corporations, not you. That's why they don't listen to y'all. You can get mad all you want, but you're not Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg got more influence over your politicians. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Sam Altman with OpenAI, all those people like that. They the one got more influence on your politicians. They're not listening to y'all. They're not listening to me. Only time they want to get in your face is when it's time to vote. Oh, we need your votes. And in the black community, we used to joke about that, like, yeah, the politicians only come around the church when it's time to get votes. And then after he get voted in, you don't see him no more till the next time to go vote. That's really how the get down is. They don't do nothing for y'all. They work for the corporations. But you the people, don't do nothing about it. And you don't have to do nothing illegal. No. It's wide open to know who's even donating to them, what corporations are donating to certain people. Nobody can force you to even spend your money. It's a lot the American people can do, but you just don't want to. And I'm talking about black folks included. Because in America, y'all behind just want to be comfortable. Y'all really don't want to do much. Let's call it what it is. You want to be comfortable. You want to do the bare minimum. You want the politicians to do everything for you. And that's why we're in the position that we're in as a country. Because we don't want to be active to just say, hey, no, my city not going to run like this. Our country not going to run like this. My state not going to run like this. Or the governor's horrible. He got to go. She got to go. And everybody get their behind up and go get them out of there. Our country is the way it is because the American people don't want to do nothing about it. It's easy to blame the politicians. Very easy. Oh, they horrible. They corrupt. They this. Yeah, but who keep putting them in office, though? Or who's not voting them out? The American people. So, it gets to a point where you can't just point fingers. No. The finger go this way. Well, okay. You say stop playing their game. The only way you can really truly stop playing their game is to leave America. And the majority of you not leaving. So the game is set up the way it's set up, okay? That's the only way you don't play their game. You leave. You leave their system. And the people that's showing up to vote, the more money people make, the more they more concerned with politics, according to research. So you got rich people making decisions for working class people, and then you complain when you don't get anything, and they get all the benefits, they get all the tax cuts, they get everything. When you need it, they're like, I ain't participating in that system. I ain't voting, I ain't doing whatever. And that's why you're in the position that you're in, because it's more working class people in this country than rich people. Way more, in the hundreds of millions. Seriously. I'm just the one like, okay, when people say, what's the solution? The solution is that. And if you're not willing to do a solution, then then really it's a complaint. Like, you complain on yourself. Your politicians are horrible because of y'all. Oh, Chuck Schumer's this and that and the third. Y'all go right back out there and okay, let's say you replace and put AOC. She the same. They're all the same. Y'all don't get a third party candidate from somewhere. Or let's say if they are a Democrat, y'all not trying to get a Democrat that's like just not really with the party, but they just using the Democrat moniker. Oh God. Okay, y'all. Okay. Let's look at Prime, because Prime didn't listen to nothing I was saying. See, oh God, okay. Help me, Jesus. All right. Prime says, Phil, we voted for decades for both parties. What the hell are we supposed to do if we keep getting the same outcome? Like, what I just talk, was I muted? Was I muted? No, I wasn't muted all this time. I didn't get no call from Kellen or Demetra that I'm muted. Okay, so yeah. So that's yeah. Like, was I muted? Because I clearly said the two-party cartel is the problem. I know I said that repeatedly. See, that's your problem. Not everybody, but that's your problem. You don't listen. Listening comprehension is horrible in America. Reading comprehension is horrible in America. And that's done on purpose by the government. Because people who can't have reading comprehension or listening comprehension can't get rid of, don't want to get rid of them. They're more guided by emotion than facts. That's emotion talking. What are we supposed to do? Do the opposite. Don't participate in the two-party cartel if you want to change anything. I mean, what more the Democrats and Republicans got to show you that they're both sold out? Both of them. You don't get nothing better. If a Republican's in office, it's the status quo. If the Democrats in office, it's the status quo. They're all owned. So you have to break that up and make the corporations feel like, wow, my investment is messed up. Now, a third party, they're going to try to come to them too. If they see everybody going to the third party, they're going to try. But you got to have a party and say, nope, I'm standing on business. I'm not doing that. We're not doing this. You have independent candidates that's affiliated with no party. People don't want to go and vote for them. As long as they got Democrat, Republican in front of their name, like I say, they got y'all trained very well. Yeah, the schools are horrible. In America, the schools are horrible. They are horrible. The public school system. They're not learning anything in these schools. Maybe some schools are doing okay. Maybe by certain zip codes. Let's call it what it is. The majority are not trying to produce thinkers. They want to produce just workers. And I can't even say smart workers. We live in a country where your freaking politicians want to protect pedos. Now, at one point in time in this country, that would have easily got you out of office. I would say at least in the 80s and 90s, let's say Ronald Reagan came out here talking about protecting the pedo, he would have been out. He would have been impeached. Any congressperson talking about anything was a pedo, they'd have been gone. It would have been outrage. All the pastors would have came out. Everybody in America would have had a fit. We live in an era now where people can be open defending pedos and nobody demanding that congressperson go. Because I ain't forgot how the Republican Party was sitting up here trying to cover up the stuff about freaking Epstein. That should be easily like, oh, no. He got to go. She got to go. What in the hell? You're not defending children? Are you a sick pervert? Like what? Like this is the society we live in today. It's perverted. It's perverts everywhere. Why has pedos become partisan? But years ago, I talked about that. I said, when they approved the gay marriage, I said, it's not going to stay there. I said, because they want to move this thing to that. Because why are they trying to normalize that? They don't even like the term pedo. They hate that term. They want to be called minor attracted persons. That's what they want to be called. Look it up. Look that term up. That's what they really want to be called. They don't like the term pedo because it's a bad label to put on them. So I'm saying to the American people, are y'all just as weird as they are? Because anybody that defends that, they need to go. Anybody. It don't matter about nobody's political party. Anybody. Okay, Rhonda says this is biblical. So that's why FBAs are taking care of ourselves and getting a grassroots person. We got to do the work and stop complaining. 100%. Because I'm telling you from my personal life. I'm talking about my personal life. My problems are many. My problems are many. I promise you my problems are many. I don't have time to get up and complain about my problems all day. Sometimes I am complaining about them in the midst of doing something about it. Sometimes like, oh man, if I can just, make it 6 more months and get to the end of this problem. Oh, if I can do this, if I can do that. I'm trying to do something. Of course, everybody will complain. I know. Trust me, we all do, right? We human. But you got to do something about it. You can't just complain. You can't lay in bed, complain. You can't mope. You can't be moping. You can't do any of that. You can't. You got to keep moving. If I start complaining and getting depressed and just stop working, because, a lot of times you just don't even want to work. I got way too many people depending on me. I don't have the luxury to even be depressed. Even if I want to be, I don't have the luxury. If I get depressed, it all go down. So you got to be a person that's got to say, nah, we got to keep going. Our ancestors, look at how they lived. We live good compared to our ancestors. Our ancestors wasn't riding around on Mercedes-Benz. Our ancestors wasn't taking no trips to Jamaica and going to Kenya and South Africa and going to Mexico all the time like a lot of y'all. Y'all live good. Our ancestors had plenty to complain about and suffered. Beyond which, we shouldn't really be doing too much complaining. We live very good, considering. As Black Americans, we live very good. We're very privileged. Our poor is considered rich. In other countries, I've seen it with my own two eyes, I told you. Our homeless walking around with cell phones. Homeless. Cell phone, internet, you homeless and you on TikTok streaming. Real poverty, you ain't got no phone. You ain't got none of that. Our quote unquote ghettos is considered luxury. You say we as Black Americans get way too comfortable and complacent and just vote Democrat straight down, which has been nothing but bad for us. Yeah, well, it's not just Black Americans. It's America in general. We don't like our comfort. Well, white folks really don't want their comfort disrupted. But Black folks don't want their comfort disrupted either. They really don't. We are so accustomed to being comfortable that it don't make us good when trouble comes. Because when trouble come, that's like a pandemic that totally disrupt your comfort. That's why people are losing their last mind. Because it disrupts your comfort. And some people only come out to vote because their comfort got disrupted. And so when you mention the Democrats, if they keep you comfortable, you'll keep, okay, cool. I'm cool with that. You're not even paying attention to what they're doing. What laws they're signing. You're like, I don't care. I'm comfortable. And life is not always about being comfortable. The Democrats be in office with the Black maternal mortality rate is high too, even under Democrats. Black women are dying at epidemic levels in these hospitals, and it's not, the alarm isn't sound at all. And what really started opening my eyes to this is the two incidents that happened recently. Now, those sisters didn't die, but they could have. Black men have to be concerned with the police, and Black women got to be concerned with nurses and doctors. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, anyway. But thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. Really appreciate it. Make sure to click the subscribe button. Make sure to click the like button. Download the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. Create an account. Do monthly, quarterly. It's or annual is beautiful. Or lifetime. Lifetime is also beautiful too. That way you never have to worry about price increases or whatever. But at minimum monthly, like I said, it's like supporting us 31 cents a day.